Thanksgiving Eve to everybody. Thanksgiving tomorrow. It's Iron Bowl week. You're rocking and rolling on the hottest show on these streets, talking Bama football. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama magazine. As always, we bring you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you through YouTube. Speaking of a channel, you know what time it is. You tap that subscribe button right now. You get hooked onto it. You get locked and loaded right here, getting all your Bama football news. Hit that subscribe button. Share the show to every platform that you know. Get every family member, get every friend, casual Bama fan, diehard Bama fan, consumer of Tide football hooked onto the show. Smash the like button as well. Hit that thumbs up. Get those likes up right there. Trying to get the show 50 likes out the gate here to start it. Daily Super Chat goal, $100. Daily Super Chat goal, $100 right there. We appreciate all of you. As I mentioned, Thanksgiving tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the food, family, football, all things of that nature. I'm certainly thankful for family, for great food, for football. I'm thankful for John Ivory filling in for Eli Walker on this evening. My man Eli, the Wonder Kid veteran, spending the holiday with his family here. So shouts out to Eli right there. But we're going to get into right now the show here. We want you, the Bama Nation, being a part of the show. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358. And I'm going to call in to let your voice be heard on the show, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Definitely want to hear from you. And before we get into the first topic of conversation, Bama Nation, do this for me. Drop in the chat your favorite Thanksgiving side. What's your favorite Thanksgiving side? We're going to have that in the chat going on the whole time. So in honor of Thanksgiving, drop in your favorite Thanksgiving side. I might even ask John this question. John, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side, by the way? I mean, I don't know what you're going to type in, but if you're going to do dressing or mac and cheese. So John Ives got mac and cheese as his favorite Thanksgiving side. Can't go wrong with that. So everybody in the chat line, drop in that favorite Thanksgiving side. We'll have some fun with that right there. But we start the conversation off, John, with this. The College Football Playoff Committee, I mean, it is crazy, the debate, the conversation, the intense arguments that are being had by several sports media talking heads out there when you look at the College Football Playoff, which the rankings came out, the latest ones on Tuesday, and Alabama still at number 8. Like, the committee is not moving Bama at all. Still at number 8. And you got the fan base, it's everywhere. You got 1/3 of the Alabama fan base going, what is going on? The committee hates us. Bama fatigue. They don't want us in there. Is this committee blind? What is happening right now? How is Oregon over Bama? Like how are they letting just this one loss to Texas keep us out of this thing? You got 1/3 of the Bama fans ticked off. You got the other third of Bama fans going, look, guys, still have hope. Chaos can still ensue. There's still a chance. And then you got the last third of Bama fans that have just accepted the fact that the committee's going to try to keep us out by all means necessary. Let's just deal with it. If we have to play Texas in the Sugar Bowl as a consolation prize, we'll just deal with that. So it's so much boiling when you look at the College Football Playoff Committee as Alabama continues to be kept there at the number 8 spot. And it's weird because, I mean, for me, this is not the same Alabama team that took on Texas in week 2. This is a completely different team now. Jalen Milroe's playing with a whole lot of confidence. Tommy Reese is in his groove, in his bag. The offensive line's grown up. Defensively, Kevin Steele and the defense, they've been playing strong all year, but even more so during the latter portion of the season. And wow, Greg McElroy talking about Texas beat Bama, and the results matter. If the committee was to put Bama ahead of Texas, that's setting a bad precedent. The committee's been doing this since 2014, Greg. I mean, that was 1 year where, if we remember, the committee put a one-loss Ohio State over Penn State, and Penn State was the Big Ten champion, but they put a one-loss Ohio State in the playoff. We remember that? I mean, last year the committee set a precedent. TCU got whopped by Kansas State, a 3-loss Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game, but the committee just excused that mulligan and put TCU in there, and TCU gets manhandled by Georgia, and the ratings plummet to the toilet. Like, we've seen the committee do stuff like this. We have seen the committee take into a precedent, putting the team in the playoff that doesn't necessarily need to be in there. We have seen this happen, but it's like when it comes to Alabama, there's a completely different script versus everybody else. It's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. But you've got 1/3 of people of Bama Nation ticked all the way off, which you have every justifiable right to be that way. Then you have 1/3 of the Bama fans still holding out hope for chaos, which you justifiably have a reason to be that way. And then you have the last third, the last remnant of Bama fans going, look, y'all, the committee hate us. Let's just accept it. We're going to end up playing Texas, more than likely, in the Sugar Bowl as a consolation prize. Let's just deal with that. So it's crazy. It's like there's becoming a growing concern for some Bama fans out there that even if Alabama goes and takes care of Georgia, the #1 team in the college football playoff, in the SEC championship game, that Bama could be still left out of the playoff. There's growing concern. And this committee, they're looking more so head-to-head, the eye test, and style points. That's what they're looking at. They're not looking at strength of schedule. They're not looking at strength of resume. They're not looking at who did you play. They're looking at eye tests. They're looking at style points, and they're looking at head-to-head, because they are for certain holding this head-to-head of Texas beating Alabama against Bama hard. I mean, they're holding that hard. So they're starting to become growing concern for a lot of Bama fans that even if Bama beats Georgia in the SEC championship game, Bama could get left out. Now, the only reason why the committee's doing this, the loss to Texas is part of it. The other part is the committee is looking like, okay, Bama struggled to beat South Florida. Bama did not dominate Ole Miss, struggled to win that game. Bama had to hold on to beat Arkansas 24-21. Can we really trust Bama? But the last few weeks, you've seen Bama put up 42 against LSU, 49 against Kentucky. They blow out Chattanooga 66-10. But here is this committee looking at the struggle wins from early on in the season. I don't get it. I mean, there was a point in time where the College Football Playoff Committee would say we would take into consideration this was not the same team it was at the beginning of the year. But once again, I double back to this. It's like the script of rules is different when it comes to Alabama football versus everybody else. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But that's what it tends to be. And so, as we look at this concretely here, so as we look at this, first and foremost, when you talk Georgia, will the Georgia game be the deciding factor? Of course, first and foremost, you got to handle business against Auburn. You got to. You got to go down to Jordan-Hare. You got to take care of Auburn. You got to handle that business. You can't overlook the Tigers. And I do not think Nick Saban or this team is overlooking the Tigers by any sense of the imagination. What I'm saying is, when you look at Georgia playing them, in the SEC championship game as the number 1 seed? Is this the deciding factor that can finally just shut up the college football playoff committee and they will have no choice but to put Bama in here? I think the only way is Bama would have to blow out Georgia, in my opinion. Like, Bama would have to beat Georgia by 17 plus, by 14 plus. They have to. You would have to beat Georgia by 2 touchdowns plus for the committee to for you to take this completely out of the committee's hands and have them go, we gotta put Bama in. Like, we gotta put Bama in. I feel like if it's a close game with Georgia, even if you beat Georgia, and Georgia hasn't lost in 30 plus games, but I feel like even if you beat Georgia, if it's a close game, the committee will still find a way of, this ain't good enough. So I feel like you would literally have to blow Georgia out for it to be taken out of the committee's hands and for them to fully understand, hey, this is totally not the same Alabama team from week 2 of the college football season when it lost to Texas. I mean, could chaos still happen? It could. It's just, it's to me, it's crazy. I mean, look at this. Oregon doesn't have the strength of resume as Alabama. Texas, yes, the head-to-head. Yes, I get it. But Texas has had to skate by the skin of its teeth in some games this season. I mean, I watched Texas-Iowa State just this past weekend, and Iowa State was right there with Texas. I mean, Iowa State was right there. So I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get, for the life of me, I don't get it. And when you think about it, if Bama beats Georgia, that would give Bama, what, John, 4 or 5 wins over teams in the college football playoff top 25? If it beats Georgia, it would give it a win over Georgia, who's at number 1. It would give it a win over LSU, who's in the top 25. It would give it a win over Ole Miss, who's in the top 25. It would give it a win over Tennessee, who's in the top 25. That's 4 teams. That's 4 teams. You're telling me Bama, who beat 4 teams in the college football playoff top 25, should not be in there? Should not be in the top 4? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're trying to spoon feed me right now? Because I'm not accepting that. I'm not. But it's just crazy. I mean, you look at whether it's Greg McElroy talking about it, Kirk Herbstreit, who's saying Oregon's the better team right now. Really? Really? Is that what we're doing? Is this literally what we're doing right now? But this committee, I don't get it. They claim we look at everything, but that's a joke. You're looking at eye tests, you're looking at head-to-head, and you're looking at style points. You're not looking at the resume. You're not looking at who beat who, but it's chaos across the board. A third of the fan base upset. A third of the Alabama fan base still holding out hope. And the final third is like, if we have to play Texas in a rematch for the Sugar Bowl, and if we're left out of the college football playoff, we're just going to have to deal with it because we don't know what this committee's thinking at any given point or metric. But we're going to take our first break here on the show. I won't touch this down. Just getting started here. When we get back, we're going to go to you, the Alabama football fan base. We want your calls, your thoughts, your energy. I mean, how do you feel about all of this? You've heard from me. You hear how I stand on it. I'm going to have John Ivory calm me down. We'll be back after this. What's up, Crimson Tide fans? It's yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Guys, check this out. On Sunday, November 26th, I will be interacting, speaking live with Alabama defensive back Malachi Moore and defensive lineman Tim Smith in an interactive podcast previewing the SEC championship game between Alabama and Georgia. If you want to be a part here of the interactive podcast, ask questions to Malachi Moore and Tim Smith. The link is in the description. There are 50 tickets left, so the link is in the description. Click on that link, Get your tickets right now. And even if you don't want to interact, you can still check out the show, the Interactive Podcast, live right here on our YouTube channel as it will be streaming. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, talking with Malachi Moore, Alabama defensive back, and Alabama defensive lineman Tim Smith. So once again, that's Sunday, November 26th. You don't want to miss it. I'll be talking with Malachi Moore and Tim Smith. You can click on the link to get your tickets to ask both guys questions, or you can watch it streaming live right here on our YouTube channel.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
And we are back rocking and rolling to the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody. Enjoy your holiday on tomorrow, as we're doing right now. Fans, drop your favorite Thanksgiving side in the chat. Let's have some fun with that. Your favorite Thanksgiving side. Drop that in the chat right there. Gotta show some love for Dale B with that $10 donation. Putting that in the bucket right there, Dale B. That $10 donation. The daily super chat go $100. Daily super chat go $100 right there. Before we get into the phone lines to grab your calls, call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang. Gotta pay a word here to our sponsors. This segment brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy, we have to take a quick break to talk about the official fantasy partner of TDA, that being Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is super easy to use. You go on the app and go pick whether your favorite players will have a higher or a lower stat total than what is listed. You do that with 2 to 5 different players and you're in business. If you go 5 for 5, hey, you can get 20 times your money. So for example, maybe this upcoming Sunday, you want to put together an entry with all Alabama alums in the NFL. You can select an entry of Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, and Bryce Young to all go higher than their stat total. If this hits, you win the money. Oh, you win the money right there. We see a lot of you are downloading Underdog, using the promo code, and having fun, which we love to see. If you haven't yet, check it out, because when you sign up, you get your first deposit doubled up to $100 using the code Alabama. You visit UnderdogFantasy.com or find them in the App Store, and don't forget to register with my promo code Alabama to get your first deposit doubled up to $100. Underdog Fantasy, UnderdogFantasy.com. Check those guys out today. They do an awesome job. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. Number to call in, 205-448-1358. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Excuse me, Derek, calling from Omaha, Nebraska.
Derek, how we feeling? Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, bro. I'm feeling good, man. I'm going back to what you were saying about how I feel about the college football playoffs. If you look at the jokers that's on that committee, first of all, they shouldn't be on that committee. None of them won anything, and they have an axe to grind against Alabama. Now, with that being said, I'm just proud of my boys, man. I'm just proud of them how they turn things around. And even if those clowns don't put us into college football, they better be ready for us next year. I'm telling you that right now. They better be ready for us next year, because everybody's coming. Well, not everybody's coming back, but a lot of good players coming back. The coordinators are coming back. Saban's going to have he's going to have an attitude about the whole situation. My thing is, if we don't get into the college football playoff, I would love to see Texas. I would love to see Texas again. I would love to see us to beat manhandle Georgia and then say they give us a January 1st bowl or whatever you want to call it, and we face Texas. Texas don't want to see us. Texas don't want to see us again. They barely beat Iowa State, and we up on a roll. So whatever the college football clowns want to do, let them do it, man. Let them do it, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's going to be different next year, and I would love to see Texas again. So that'd be a win-win situation to me.
I mean, Derek, it would be. So if Bama doesn't make the playoff, right now the projection is set up to where it would be Alabama, Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Now, does that projection stand? I hope it does. I hope they don't switch it. I hope they don't mess. And I hope they don't mess with it. Leave that projection alone if it just so happens to be Bama, Texas in the Sugar Bowl, because I would love to see that matchup in New Orleans.
Yeah, and I read somewhere that Reese is up for some award. Have you heard about that? Some offense coordinator award?
Tommy Reese is in the running. He's a semifinalist for the Frank Broyles Award, which goes to college football's top assistant coach.
Man, can you imagine him coming back and then Jalen Morrell coming back, and he's still sharp as steel, man. And I think Milroe, he should be, if he's not in the Heisman Trophy conversation, should be in the Heisman Trophy conversation, but next year definitely. And we got that killer class coming. Like I said, we're having all the coordinators. So, play your little games, college football, playoff clowns. Play your little petty games. We gonna handle our business, and y'all gonna see us next year.
Appreciate Derek calling in from Omaha, getting us started here on a Wednesday. We take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, Stephen, my man. This is your boy Noah from Virginia. How are you, my man?
Doing good, Noah.
Hey, I hear you talking about Georgia. I was tickled. I'm tickled if we beat Chattanooga 66-10. I want to ask you a question, Stephen.
Go ahead.
All right, I have a picture on my phone. They predict Bama over Georgia, 51.1% over Georgia, beat Georgia. And they got Georgia at 48.1%. I think we got the chance to beat Georgia. Here's my final score for Georgia, Stephen. When we get to the SEC championship, you ready for when we predict some score for you?
Go ahead.
53, Bama, Georgia, 25.
Heard it right there. Okay.
And I predict when we play Sugar, like we go to Sugar Bowl, play Texas Longhorns one more time, I predict this score 53-14 over Texas. And over Auburn, I predict 50 over 40 over Auburn. Give them 3 out there, I'm predict. I hope Bama win it. I hope they get the national championship this year.
Appreciate Noah calling in from Virginia, giving us those predictions there on the show as he's got them all with Auburn, Georgia, and in the event that Alabama takes on Texas there in the Sugar Bowl, should that happen in that aspect. But we take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? This is Elijah from Jersey. What's going on?
Elijah, I'm doing well, man. Getting ready for Thanksgiving on tomorrow. Family, food, giving thanks, football, all types of good stuff. But how are you, my man?
I'm good, man. I'm just keeping my eye on a couple of things come Saturday, come Friday night, things like that. The one thing, I never pray for a player to get hurt, and that's not my thing. But with Florida State quarterback going down, that make that Florida State and Florida game a little bit more interesting now. Florida got a chance. I personally think Florida might pull an upset. Do you know anything about Florida State backup quarterback? How efficient is he?
Now, their backup quarterback, he's played quite a bit this season when Jordan Travis has been banged up from time to time, but I don't think he's been in a situation like this to where you're not going to have Jordan Travis and he's the guy. And with this game being played in Gainesville, those Florida players are going to rally around Billy Napier and play hard for Coach Napier. I know Coach Napier's kind of on the hot seat. Florida fans kind of getting impatient with him. It's not all his fault. He hasn't had much to work with. But at the same time, I look at with Florida State not having Jordan Travis and this game in Gainesville, those guys are going to play hard for Billy Napier.
I think that's why I'm going to be rocking, especially at nighttime. I think that's a nighttime game also. So I really think the Swamp going to get the best of the Seminoles this weekend. But my main thing that I'm really trying to see what happens is if Alabama beats the daylights out of Auburn, but Michigan and Ohio State play a close game, let's just say Michigan edges out Ohio State, my eye is going to be on how far do they drop Ohio State? Or even if Michigan does lose, how far do they drop them below us at 8? Or do they do the clown move and put them at 6? If it's a close game, they lose 2-3 points, a last drive field goal to win the game. Do they put them behind us at 8? Because with 2 and 3 playing, it comes up that topic of this is a quality loss. So my eye is going to really be on that. I have no doubt can Alabama beat up on Auburn, but with the winner of the loser of that Ohio State Michigan game, how far do they drop, man? Let me know what you think about that, Steve.
I mean, Elijah, my eyes will be on that also because for the very thing that you mentioned, if it's a close loss for either one, Ohio State or Michigan, what does this committee do? Do they do the right thing and really drop the team that lost? Or do they say, well, they lost, but it was a close game. It's a quality loss. It's a big rivalry. Let's just drop them to 5 or 6, and maybe nobody pays attention, but we know the whole world will be paying attention. So you bring up a good point there, Elijah. My eyes will be on the loser of Ohio State, Michigan. How far do they actually really drop? We appreciate Elijah for that call. We're going to take this one right here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, feeling great, Steven. It's Matt from Mobile. Mattress Matt, how you doing?
Matt, I'm doing well, my man. It's Thanksgiving is upon us. It's here. I'm excited. Wishing you and your family an outstanding Thanksgiving. How are you feeling?
And you as well. I'm feeling great. I want to just fast forward to Saturday. I'm ready for it. I don't know if you heard Heather Dinich. Is that her name?
Yes.
From ESPN. But apparently she's in the room there with the committee, and she claims that Texas and Alabama are basically a package deal, and that if Alabama gets in, then Texas is going to get in too. And then at the same time, that Alabama, basically controls their own destiny. So, if Alabama wins out, I don't know where the conversation even started that there's a possibility that they could win out and not get in. So I think that, as Alabama fans, we can relax on that and realize that, let's root for our team. Let's enjoy the games, enjoy the turkey and the leftover turkey, and just know that, if we went out, we're 100% going. There's no scenario where we won't go. They've always prioritized a spot for the SEC champion in the college football playoff. I don't know if there's ever been a time where an SEC champion has not been given a spot in the committee. They're given first priority. So no matter what happens, the SEC champion always has first priority in a spot in the college football playoff, no matter what. That always trumps, head-to-head matchups early in the season. Resume, it trumps everything. SEC champion trumps everything. So that's the first. So if Alabama beats Georgia, we can be confident they are going to be first priority in the college football playoff, and everything else is revolved around that. So they're either going to have to take Oregon out, Florida State out. There's going to be people that are going to be left out, but it's not going to be Alabama. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, this is interesting here, Matt. This is the first that I got a chance to really hear Heather Dinich talk about that, but I do know that the SEC holds tremendous weight when you look at the college football playoff, and there has not been, since the playoff started in 2014, there has not been a situation where the SEC champion has been left out. So I agree with you there.
Yeah, and so I don't even know when we started to doubt that. When you listen to all these pundits, you listen to all these people, and I think we all fall guilty of that. Listening to Joel Klatt, and all of the ESPN guys. We got to remember they're paid. And they also have contracts with these conferences, and so everything that comes out of their mouth, is based on financial incentives. So for us to believe and take the bait, it's nothing but them promoting, this idea, that the Big Ten or the Pac-12 or the Big 12, that they're like the new SEC or something. And it's just, I just think that it's all money based. And I took the bait, and I fell victim to it, believing these lies, that Alabama was going to somehow get left out if they didn't win out. It's 100% not true. 100%.
Appreciate Mattress Matt there from Mobile with his call on the show here on a Wednesday. Did not get that nugget from Heather Dinich of ESPN saying that you're looking at Alabama and Texas as a package deal. That's an interesting development right there. So Alabama wins the SEC championship game. Bama would get in, and Texas would get in. That's a very cool development there. We're going to grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's Isaac from Mobile.
Isaac, doing well. About to really get into some Thanksgiving food on tomorrow, but how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, man. First of all, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Hope you enjoy your day tomorrow.
Absolutely, man. We'll do that. I'm already preparing myself.
Yes, sir. Me too. I do think it should be some concern about the CFP, just because, at the spot we're sitting in right now, and you're getting closer and closer. It's a lot of things we can't control right now. But what we can control is win our games, beat Auburn, handle business in the SEC championship, and then see what happens, But this is what I'm looking at right now, the way I look at the rankings. So it seems to me as if what they're saying is they don't think that Texas is better than Oregon. And so it's like the reason that Bama's not moving is like, okay, you can't jump Texas because they beat you, but we don't think Texas is good enough to jump Oregon. And so I think that what's being implied, that they think at this point Oregon is the best one-loss team. Do you kind of see that scenario, or?
I don't look at Oregon as the best one. I mean, Oregon's playing good ball. Don't get me wrong. Bo Nix is in the Heisman conversation, which he deserves to be in that. But I don't see Oregon as the best one-loss team. I mean, if you look at this, the best one-loss team, just in my opinion, and I'm not being biased towards this, but the best one-loss team, in my opinion, you look at the schedule Alabama has played. Alabama's played an Ole Miss, which is in the CFP top 25, beat Ole Miss by 14? Alabama played LSU, which is in the CFP top 25. They beat LSU by double digits. Jaden Daniels is a Heisman frontrunner. Alabama then beats Tennessee. Tennessee's in the CFP top 25. You beat Tennessee by 14 points. So 3 of the teams in the CFP top 25, Bama beat all 3 of those teams by double digits. So Bama right now, the best one-loss team. And I honestly feel like if Alabama and Texas played each other again right now, Bama would handle Texas. That week 2 loss, 100%. That week 2 loss was a Bama team that didn't know what it was. Jalen Milroe was trying to figure it out. Tommy Reese was trying to figure it out. The offensive line wasn't even gelling quite well yet. Wide receivers, nobody had really started to formulate just yet. It was a team still trying to find itself. Now, this team is a well-oiled machine.
Right. And I agree with you. And, me personally, I'm not on the Bo Nix train. Me, honestly, I think he's a fraud. That's just me. But I agree with you, but I'm just thinking that what the committee is thinking, because they won't even bump Texas ahead of Oregon. But like you say, I agree with you 100%. If you've been watching Bama the past 3-4 weeks, you know that this is a different team than week 2. And I can tell you this, nobody in the country wants to see Bama right now. Nobody. So, but like I say, just go ahead.
No, go ahead, Isaac. Finish your point there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so we just gotta control what we can control, and win these next 2 games, and it's a tough circumstance to be in, but ultimately we gotta control what we can control, and that's it, So
appreciate Isaac from Mobile calling in there to the show on a Wednesday, giving his thoughts here. We're actually going to get into your favorite Thanksgiving sides. You guys have been interacting with this in the chat line. So John Ivory's got to pull it up. So Monica Petaway writes in dressing. All right. We got dressing in here. We got Jeremiah Taylor. He's got sweet potato casserole. Okay. We got Megan T with sweet potatoes. All right, Roll Tide Rise Up. Got my man John Ivory's favorite, that old mac and cheese. We got GT18 with the dressing, okay. We got Dale B with mashed potatoes and gravy, all right. We got McConaughey with smoked duck. Let's get it. We got Danny Sutton, green beans, corn on the cob. My daughter Mariah would love the corn on the cob right there. We got Ephraim Davis with cranberry sauce, sweet potato pie, all right? Justin Summerlin, candy yams and all sweets. There we go from Justin Summerlin. We got Chris, the third son, with mac and cheese. We got that from Chris. Gerald Vickery drops in that $10 donation in the Super Chats. Appreciate that love. They're coming from Gerald Vickery and all of you interacting with your favorite Thanksgiving sides. We're going to continue that. Drop in your favorite Thanksgiving sides in the chat. We're definitely going to continue with that. Want to get that from you, the Bama Nation. But cool call topic right here goes to Alabama football in terms of the special teams aspect. Caleb Downs and Kool-Aid McKinstry on punt return. Who does Saban go with against Auburn to return punts this weekend? Does he trot Kool-Aid back out there? Or does he stick with Caleb Downs after watching the freshman against Chattanooga go out there and take an 85-yard punt return back to the crib for a touchdown? What does Saban do? Now, Saban said he still has confidence in Kool-Aid. So Kool-Aid kind of lost confidence in himself returning those punts, but he also says he has a lot of confidence what Caleb Downs can do. My thing is, after seeing the boy Downs take a punt return back, keep him out there. That's me. I mean, Kool-Aid, a good corner, but we need some explosion on that punt return. We need security catching the football on the punt first and foremost, and then Bama needs somebody that can take that thing from coast to coast. Caleb Downs did that, so I'm just saying, stick with Caleb on that punt return. Rest of this season, Coach Saban, that's what I would do right now. I'm sticking with Caleb Downs turning these punts, but we'll see who Saban will have out there against Auburn. I will be at Jordan-Hare this weekend, so I will get a first-hand look at it myself. But we take a break here, folks, in the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we get into a little bit of an Iron Bowl preview from this vantage point. Bama's got 3 coaches on staff with Iron Bowl ties. Can this offset the psychology of Hugh Freeze having an edge over Coach Saban? We'll have an Iron Bowl preview after this. We're out here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa. Oh yeah, this. Oh, no. Gotta get this. Gotta get one of these right here. Can't rock that Bama without this shirt right here, fresh polo. You gotta also rock the all pink, like Kanye West right there. Keychains, gotta get you some keychains. University of Alabama keychains. I'm telling you, if you are a die-hard Alabama fan and you're looking for some big-time apparel, this place has got everything. We're talking shirts, shoes, sweatshirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, keychains. If you're just a Tide fan that has an itch to get more apparel, get more swag in your game, you come right here at Alumni Hall in Tuscaloosa, right here in Midtown Village. And also you can shop online. The link is in the description to get your gear right here at Alumni Hall. We also have new, fresh, exclusive TDA gear you can get right now at Alumni Hall. That's in store or online. Hit that link in the description and search Touchdown Alabama to view all of the available gear. Hurry and get yours before they're sold out.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
And we are back into the action, folks, from the break on a Wednesday hump day, number 1 form for your Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting the like button. Tap the like button. Get those likes up. Hit that thumbs up right there. Subscribe to the channel as well so you miss nothing when it comes to Bama football content. John Ivor, we're getting into the topic 2 here of the conversation. Iron Bowl is Saturday between Bama and Auburn on the Plains. Jordan-Hare Stadium. This matchup right here means so much to so many people in this state. And you look at Alabama trying to get into the college football playoff. You look at Auburn trying to spoil Alabama's season. This is what it is right here. This is the Iron Bowl. It's nothing like it. Some may look at Ohio State, Michigan as the bigger rivalry, but this is what I grew up in my whole life. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl right here. And Saturday will be another intriguing matchup. Coach Saban, since being Alabama's head football coach in 2007, he is 11-5 all time in the Iron Bowl against Auburn, 11-5. However, Jordan-Hare Stadium has been kind of a thorn in Saban's side as he's only 4-4 at Jordan-Hare. This will be the 9th time Saban goes over there. He's 4-4 at Jordan-Hare Stadium. 3 of the 4 losses Alabama took there all prevented Alabama from competing in an SEC championship game and playing for a national championship in those 3 losses. You look at 2013, the kick 6 game. You look at 2017, where Alabama lost 14-26. Jalen Hurts' sophomore year. And then 2019, I was there at Jordan-Hare. Mac Jones, the 2 pick sixes. He threw for 4 touchdowns, did everything he could to win that game. Joseph Balovis kicked the ball, it doinks off the upright. You lose 45-48. A girl gets stuck in a bush. I almost get trampled on at Jordan-Hare. I almost didn't make it out of there alive. Those 3 matchups right there. So Saban 4-4 lifetime as Alabama's head coach going into Jordan-Hare. And the question that a lot of people have been asking me is the psychology of this in terms of Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze, the new head coach at Auburn, took over for Brian Harsin. Freeze, one of few coaches that has beaten Nick Saban twice in terms of coaches that have achieved this feat. Other names include Dabo Swinney, beaten Coach Saban twice. Les Miles, former college football coach, beaten Nick Saban twice. Gus Malzahn, beaten Nick Saban twice. Urban Meyer, beaten Nick Saban twice, once at Florida, of course, once at Ohio State. So there's only a small handful of coaches that can say, hey, I beat Nick Saban twice. Hugh Freeze is on that list. He did it twice there at Ole Miss. Even though cheating occurred for it to happen, he still beat Coach Saban twice there as the head coach of Ole Miss. So the question being, psychologically, does Hugh Freeze have an edge here on Coach Saban? I don't see it, just because, well, first and foremost, even though Auburn will play hard, Auburn will be up for this game. You can throw all the records out of the window. But unlike Ole Miss, Auburn doesn't have the players at Hugh Freeze's disposal to hang with Alabama. I mean, Jarquez Hunter, the running back, he's good. But Auburn doesn't have the players that Ole Miss had at that time to run with Alabama. And then, Alabama's got 3 coaches on staff that have ties to Auburn. Kevin Steele, defensive coordinator, Tavares Robinson, secondary coach, and Gary Walker, who is a grad assistant. All 3 have Auburn ties. Kevin Steele, defensive coordinator for Auburn 2016 to 2020. That 2017 and 2019 teams that beat Alabama, where Auburn is concerned, Kevin Steele was the DC on both of those teams. So Steele knows Jordan-Hare. He knows how to play over there. He knows how to win over there. He knows how to maneuver the room, the stadium over there. So good to have Kevin Steele on this side of the spectrum. Then when you look at Tavares Robinson, T-Rob played at Auburn, was a defensive back there. T-Rob was a grad assistant at Auburn 2006 to 2007. T-Rob coached DBs at Auburn 2015. So T-Rob, familiar with Jordan-Hare, knows the area, played inside the stadium, knows how to maneuver it. Good to have him on this side of the coin. And then when you look at Gary Walker, who is a grad assistant for Alabama, he played under Kevin Steele. So you have 3 individuals defensively that have played at Auburn, coached at Auburn, know the stadium, know the metrics of it, know the highs and lows, the ups and downs, the ins and outs of Jordan-Hare, but they're coaching here on the Alabama side of things. So this is good here when you look at those 3, Steele, T-Rob, Gary Walker, kind of offsetting the whole psychology of does Hugh Freeze have the upper hand here in terms of Coach Saban. But this is going to be a good game. This is going to be a very good game. And for me, if Alabama comes out of here fast, if it starts the way it started off against LSU, Kentucky, and Chattanooga, then Alabama should have no problem in this game. This offense comes out starting fast with Jalen Milroe and Tommy Rees getting that thing working early. They start fast. And then defensively, this defensive line stopping the run, getting Auburn behind the chains early, because Peyton Thorne, Auburn's quarterback, really don't trust him to move the ball proficiently through the air. I don't trust that. I don't trust that with a 10-foot pole. I don't. So I look at this. If Alabama's defensive front handles Jarquez Hunter, stops the run, and prevents Auburn from trying to muck the game up and control time of possession there, if Alabama's defensive front prevents Auburn from doing that, Alabama has a chance to really run away with this football game. So this is going to be on that defensive line. Tim Keenan, Justin Aboigbe, Jaheim Otis, those guys have to be able to have gap control, gap integrity, maintain their job, handle that assignment, and prevent Auburn from trying to control time of possession here in this matchup. But from a psychology aspect of it, I think having three guys that know Jordan Hare very well, Kevin Steele, T-Rob, and Gary Walker, I think that will offset a lot of this whole psychology thing from the Hugh Freeze perspective. But we take another break here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. Upon our return, we jump back into the call lines. We get your thoughts, your conversations. We want to hear from you, the Bama fans, right after this.
What's up, Bama Nation? This is Rudy Griffin, former Alabama defensive lineman, and you're listening to my guy, Stephen M. Smith, in my own words, brought to you by Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Roll Tide, roll!
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
All right, Bama Nation, we're back into the action from the break. Hottest show on the streets. Talking your Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Want to wish everybody happy, blessed Thanksgiving holiday season. Take this time being with your friends, family, enjoying great food, enjoying each other, and enjoying what the good Lord has blessed us all with. And one thing that you got to appreciate about Coach Saban, he mentioned tonight on his Hey Coach radio show, that he and Miss Terry, for Thanksgiving, they host 15 players that are not able to go home. So normally the guys that live in close proximity to the stadium or their homes are close proximity to the university, those guys are able to go home and be with their family for Thanksgiving. But guys that live just far away, Coach Saban, Miss Terry, they host 15 guys at their home, and then different position coaches, they host other players at their homes as well. So it's always awesome to hear Coach Saban talk about, hey, even for the guys that cannot go home and enjoy their Thanksgiving dinner from their mom or dad or whoever legal guardian is, or that they can be able to go to Coach Saban's house or a position coach's house and be able to enjoy that Thanksgiving meal. Gotta show some love to Adam Laplero with that $10 donation, dropping the love there in the bucket here on the show. We're gonna get to more of your Thanksgiving sides. Here we go. Gerald Vickery writes in, he's feeling dressing with cranberry sauce. No berries, but cranberry sauce for that dressing. Gerald Vickery, appreciate that. Anitra writes in, she's all about that dressing, green bean casserole, collard greens, mac and cheese, chitlins, ribs, sweet potato pie, my God, Anitra, I'm hungry. Red velvet cake, she got the whole spread on there. Anitra wasn't playing, Shawty got the whole spread on, man. Okay, all right. Red velvet cake, all right, let's get it there. Appreciate everybody writing in their Thanksgiving sides. We take this call right here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, Steven, it's Adam calling from Georgia. How you doing?
Doing great, Adam. Cannot complain here. About to enjoy an outstanding Thanksgiving on tomorrow, and wishing you and your family a great Thanksgiving as well.
Absolutely, Steven. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. I just had two brief points. One question I have is, why do we schedule games like UT Chattanooga? I don't think that they're of any use to Alabama, and I don't think they prepare us well, for a rivalry game. So I'm wondering why we do it. And second question is, going forward against Georgia, what do you think are the most vulnerable aspects of our team that we need to really work on to match up well with them?
Well, first off, the question on UT Chattanooga, some teams, you got to play some teams for them to, I guess, up their recruiting base and up their amenities and what they're trying to do in terms of building up their program. So you have to play those schools. Now, I know there's been a conversation of could the Power Five, the main programs, just do away with playing those schools? Of course you could, but you also want to try to help those schools out as well. So I think that's why you see Alabama play the UT Chattanoogas of the world. But now, in terms of playing Georgia, I think the main thing is going to be the offensive line, to me, is you're going up against a Georgia team that does have a very good defensive front, and Caden Proctor, Jaden Roberts, Seth McLaughlin, these guys have got to be on their A game and handling the Georgia defensive front to where you can set your run game up, but also protect Jalen Milroe. That's number one. And then I guess number two, the biggest thing for Alabama in facing Georgia is defending Brock Bowers. How do you go about defending him? I mean, Nat McConkey has grown too as a tight end, wide receiver, tight end type, but Brock Bowers is their ace card. He's their top 15 draft pick. So how do you defend that? Me personally, I look at you would have to have like a bracket coverage on him, probably have one of your best coverage linebackers, maybe a Jihad Campbell run with him, and probably have a King of Downs come over to help undercut underneath, kind of like high and low coverage, so to speak. So I would have to bracket Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Steven, I was just wondering, why is it so hard to cover Bowers? I mean, he runs like a 4.5. I know he's a great receiver, but he seems to get open all the time. So it's like, why is it so difficult to cover the guy?
Why is it difficult, Adam? Because he's bigger than he's bigger than safeties. He's faster than linebackers, and a lot of people just don't want to deal with him because of how big he is. He's hard to tackle, so that's why. I mean, he tends to get open because he outruns linebackers, but he also tends to get open because he's bigger than a lot of safeties, so he can just jump up over the top of you and catch the ball. So I think the big thing with him is if you're putting a linebacker on him, it's got to be somebody with SEC speed, closing speed, and that's the reason why Jihad Campbell would fit that part of the bill. And then to have a guy help out with Campbell, you could look at maybe a King of Downs or a Jalen Key coming over the top to maybe undercut a route from him, maybe out jump him for the football. But there's got to be a bracket coverage there on him.
All right, thanks, Steven. Great answer. And again, happy Thanksgiving to you, and Roll Tide.
Appreciate Adam there calling in from Georgia. Appreciate him right there. We got Kimberly Bossy writing in with her Thanksgiving side. She's got Cornish hen and dressing. All right, Cornish hen and dressing from Kimberly. My man, the president, Waylon's got canned sweet potatoes. So Waylon's got the canned sweet potato vibe going in there. You guys still coming in with your Thanksgiving sides. We appreciate that. Our call topic right now, John, Will Anderson, former Alabama defender, one of the most decorated defenders in Alabama history, a guy that's the only two-time unanimous first-team All-American in the history of Alabama football. Will Anderson, right now, according to Pro Football Focus, is one of the top rookies in the NFL right now. Will Anderson has the Houston Texans playing well. 6-4 in the AFC South. They got a shot to make the playoffs. Anderson this season, 33 tackles. He's got 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Really playing well. So Anderson's got the Texans in pursuit of making the playoffs as a wild card team, because I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the AFC South division. So I think Anderson's got Houston in line there for a wild card spot. Kudos to him for how well he is playing. But we take our final break here on the show. Don't touch that down. When we get back, we wrap things up with an injury update on your Crimson Tide heading into the Iron Bowl. We break that down and tidy things up after this.
I'm Malachi Moore. You're watching In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith on Touchdown Alabama YouTube channel.
Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
What's going on? This is Benny Bice. I'm the founder and owner of Touchdown Alabama. And you guys are supporting one of the only independent outlets covering Alabama football today. No other sports, no networks, just Alabama football. Roll Tide Roll.
All right, people, we appreciate all of you checking us out on today. The calls, the super chats, the chatting, the conversations. You sharing with us your favorite Thanksgiving sides. Wishing a happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys out there checking us out on today. But we wrap things up, John, with injury update on the Crimson Tide heading into the Iron Bowl. Coach Saban talked about this during today's press conference, that being Deontay Lawson and Jalen Key, two defensive starters. Lawson, your redshirt sophomore inside linebacker. Jalen Key, your transfer defensive back from UAB, safety. These two guys have been dealing with little nagging injuries this season. Lawson with an ankle issue, Key with a quad injury. Both guys have practiced this week. Coach Saban mentioned they've both practiced. They've both been running. They've both been moving around. Both guys have been able to do some things here. Now, what I've been told from close sources vetted within this program here, they know what they're talking about, we're looking more so like Jalen Key. Jalen Key is looking more so like he's set to go. Jalen Key is looking like he will play in the Iron Bowl. He's set to start. He's set to go. Deontay Lawson, on the other hand, still kind of questionable in a way. He could play, but I'm being told don't be surprised if Jihad Campbell starts again for the Iron Bowl, which I would be fine if Campbell starts again. If Deontay got to be held out till Georgia, that's cool. Jihad Campbell's been playing great right now, but both have been practicing. Both have been maneuvering right now. So it looks like Jalen Key is a go. Jalen Key is a flat go for the Iron Bowl. Deontay Lawson, we may have to see what he does, I guess, tomorrow before he partakes in Thanksgiving food, what he could look like if he's able to play, if he's able to go here for the Iron Bowl. If not, then we're definitely looking at Jihad Campbell starting and Lawson getting some reps here and there to see where is he on that ankle. But both guys have practiced. Both guys have been able to do different things on the field. That's a positive thing. But right now we're looking at Jalen Key, a go. He's better now from the quad. And then Deontay Lawson, we could be looking at a situation where he may not start the game. Jihad Campbell may still start the game. Lawson could still get some spot play work in there, getting ready to head for the SEC Championship following this matchup here with Georgia on that horizon. But I'm looking forward to this Iron Bowl. I will be at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I am pumped. I am set to go. And hopefully I can create some good memories here from this matchup. But as always, Bama fans, you want the best news, notes, information, coverage here on your favorite program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. You download the app, the iPhone App Store. If you're rocking Team Apple, Google Play Store. You got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out. iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered right there. Appreciate you guys. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll try to make my return on Friday, continuing the conversation that is Bama football. Got to give a shout out to you, the Bama Nation, for all that you do and making this your spot here to talk all things Bama football. Got to show some love to my man John Aubrey in the production studio, handling that business. Till next time, folks. Husbands, love your wives. Wives, appreciate, value those husbands. Children, continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored there. You get yourself those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday season. And until next time, folks, I'm your man, Stephen M. Smith. You've been listening to In My Own Words.